MCI Center, Washington, D.C., the 10th annual BB&T Classic. And today's championship game features the 12th-ranked University of Maryland against the Colonials from George Washington University. And what a game this should be. Hi, folks. Steve Buckhantz with Glenn Consort. Something tells me we've been down this road before, Glenn. Maryland and GW have faced 4 times in the championship game, each team winning twice. And if yesterday's play is any indication, we're in for one whale of a battle today.
Well, get your neck brace on because you know it's going to go up and down. And the bottom line is going to be taking care of the basketball. Expect a lot of pressure, expect full court pressure, expect half court pressure. The tempo is going to be great, Buck. I think the key to this game for both teams is going to be point guard play. Carl Elliott and John Gilchrist, two very physical point guards, are going to have to take care of the basketball. My prediction will be the team that commits the fewest turnovers will win this game because there's going to be a lot of scoring. There's going to be a physical game. Rebounding is going to be important, but turnovers are going to be the key.
Having said that, how do you think GW will handle this torrid Maryland pressure?
Well, I think they're going to have to. I think they did a good job of handling the pressure from Michigan State yesterday, but Michigan State's pressure mostly came on the offensive end. Maryland does a great job slapping at balls and getting into their fast break off of turnovers. 5 guys run the floor very well for Maryland, so transition defensively is going to be very important. But this is a team that likes to get into their break off of steals.
You have to be impressed with the way George Washington took it to Michigan State yesterday. Smothering defense and brisk ball movement.
Well, I think the ball movement's key. Ball movement creates openings, not only executing a half-court offense, but also in the transition game. I thought they did a great job of finding open people. Guys weren't standing around. The ball was going from one side of the floor to the other. They did a great job of rotating the defenses and also having patience. They didn't turn it over. They didn't get frustrated yesterday with Michigan State's matchup zone. I think the key is going to be establishing Pops Mensah-Bonsu inside and also making some outside shots. They got some good outside shooters, GW has, and TJ Thompson and Pinnock is terrific from 3 as well. They got to get the whole game going, but the bottom line is going to be they got to physically manhandle Maryland, just like they did to Maryland. It's not 2 or 3 guys. 5 guys on the floor. They got to play physical basketball.
It's become a great local tournament this year with 3 local teams, Maryland, GW, and George Mason. And in the first game, Michigan State held on to beat the Patriots 66-60 to capture the consolation contest. But boy, there are lots of Colonial fans here, as well as you can imagine, lots of red in the audience with Maryland fans on hand. Once again, we want to welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew today, and it's our buddy Al Koken. Al?
Steve, thank you very much. You guys were talking about the upset that GW pulled off yesterday against Michigan State. But you know, when you follow the Colonials' track record in this BB&T Classic, they don't think of themselves as upsetting very many people. They have been giant killers all throughout this tournament. Look at some of the first-round wins that George Washington has had over the years. That 2000 win over St. John's, the Redmen were a highly ranked team at that point as well. So you see the fact that George Washington is 2-2 in championship games, also against the University of Maryland. This is a very successful Colonial team. They don't think of themselves up as giant killers when they're in the BB&T Classic. Let's get you ready for the opening tip. Back over to Steve and Glenn.
All right, Al, it promises to be a good one and a big crowd expected for a tremendous local rivalry between Maryland and George Washington. Chris McCray, Nick Kaner-Medley lead the Terrapins, ranked 12th in the nation, against TJ Thompson and Pops Mensah-Bonsu for George Washington. The Terps and the Colonials for the 5th time in the championship of the BB&T Classic coming up. Championship game, and for the 5th time in the title game, Maryland and GW will square off, and each team has won twice, which surprises a lot of people, but certainly nobody from George Washington and Foggy Bottom. That's for sure. All right, let's take a look at the Central Atlantic Toyota starting lineups. First for the University of Maryland. And the Terps 3-1 on the year. Nick Kaner-Medley with the Kenny Abekwe and Travis Garrison up front. Chris McCray and John Gilchrist in the backcourt. Kaner-Medley with 20 points yesterday on 7 of 9 shooting against George Mason. And the Colonials will start Pops Mensah-Bonsu with Carl Elliott and Omar Williams in the front. J.R. Pinnock and T.J. Thompson in the backcourt. Pumps with 23 points yesterday against Michigan State, his 4th straight 20-point game. The head coach for George Washington is Carl Hobbs in his 4th season. He took over for Tom Penders, who coached the team for 3 years. Hobbs was an assistant for 8 years under Jim Calhoun at UConn, and he helped guide the Huskies to 6 NCAA appearances, including a second-round victory over GW in '94, and Gary Williams, in his 16th season at Maryland, 59 years old, has taken the Terps to 11 consecutive NCAA tournaments, 8 straight 20-win seasons, Sweet 16 in 7 of the last 11 years. The officials today, and it's a veteran crew, that's Jim Burr, along with Tom O'Neill and Scott Thornley. Terrapins and George Mason began this series back in 1914. Maryland has a 35-27 advantage. You see, the last time they played was in the BB&T. And the difference makers for today's game, perhaps Chris McCray and Carl Elliott.
Well, Chris McCray has improved so much defensively, and you know, he's one of these guys that can really take this game over. He's great in transition. If he can get out on the break, he could make the difference for Maryland. Carl Elliott's got to take care of the basketball. Yesterday he had a terrific floor game. He's got to make good decisions against Maryland's pressure defense. Chris McCray is the type of guy that could score in so many different ways. He's known to be a three-point shooter, and everybody knows he can shoot, so GW's gonna have to make sure that they challenge those three-point shots. He could also take you off the bounce. And Chris McCray is a much more complete player than he was last year. He's really a different type of player. He's improved defensively. He's getting lots of steals and deflections, and he's been very active for Gary Williams this season.
Both Maryland and GW are 4-1 on the year. Both come off big victories yesterday. Maryland with a huge 78-54 win over George Mason. And George Washington pulled what some people would call an upset, but
some people don't.
Some people don't, as they knocked off Michigan State yesterday, 96-83 in the first round of the BB&T. There's a look at the 4 previous finals matchups between Maryland and GW. The Terps winning in '96. GW coming back with a victory in '97. They won again in '99, and Maryland defeated George Washington in 2000. Last year, GW was in the championship game, lost to Gonzaga.
Gonzaga had a good team. Ronnie Torioff and Blake Stepp came in here and lit up Maryland like a Christmas tree from 3.
Terrapins opened the season with a 93-57 win over Jackson State. They beat Mercer 93-67. Knocked off Memphis 84-61 and then lost in the Big Ten ACC Challenge to Wisconsin 69-64 on Saturday. George Washington opened up with a tough game at Wake Forest, took them almost down to the wire, and then it got away from them at the end, 97-76. And they've got victories over Morgan State, Fairfield, Mount St. Mary's the other day, 81-58, and the win yesterday over Michigan State.
Buck, I'm going to be curious to see how quickly Mike Hall gets off the bench for Maryland, who was just a key component to that win yesterday against Michigan State, making big shots. Normally a starter, now coming off the bench.
Maryland gets the opening tip. We're underway in the championship game of the 10th annual BB&T. Steve Buckhantz, Glenn Coxor, Al Koken, and we're glad you're with us today. Should be a good one. McCray's first shot is good. Elliott back quickly off the glass, tied at 2. Whistle, blocking foul called on the Colonials.
Interesting matchups by GW right away. T.J. Thompson is starting with the assignment of defending John Gilchrist, and Elliott, they got on Nick Kaner-Medley, and he just launched it.
Kaner-Medley averaging Over 14 points a game and a turnover. Charge to GW. Maryland up 5-2 off the three-point shot by Kaner Medley. Colonials have been to the finals of this tournament 5 out of the last 9 years. And now 6 out of the last 10.
Maryland's going to have to be prepared for a number of different types of defenses that GW is going to throw. Multiple defenses. Now they're changing it up. Elliott went to McCray and TJ Thompson. I'm sorry, Elliott went to Gilchrist and TJ Thompson went to McCray. You're going to see multiple changes. You'll see 2-3 zone. You'll see 1-3-1. You'll see half-court traps by GW. It's going to be important for John Gilchrist, who I believe is the key to Maryland's success this year, to recognize, pull the ball out, and call the right plays against the different defenses.
Trying to get it into Pops, guarded by Travis Garrison. And a steal by the Terps.
Beckway's got those long arms. He was almost at the baseline.
GW looks a little more tentative in this game to start than they did certainly yesterday.
Yeah, they are, and I think they're just kind of feeling their oats right now out there and just kind of getting into their rhythm. But defense is going to win this game, and they know that they're going to have to stop Maryland, who is a very good offensive rebounding team. And it's not that they got the big bulky guys underneath, but they got quick jumpers under the boards of Beckway, Nick Kaner, Medley, and Garrison, and McCray, all good offensive rebounds. Watch this defense. He picks up his dribble, and Beckway comes from basically the baseline. He's got a tremendous wingspan, and you got to protect the ball when you pick your dribble up. Cardinal rule that point guards make is they pick the dribble up too early. You got to keep your dribble, keep the ball down low.
McKenna is struggling from the free throw line. Misses them both now, 9 of 19 from the line. But Maryland will get it back.
GW now playing a 2-3 zone.
The Beckway with a big rebound, can't get the shot. Kaner Medley's there. His shot is blocked and tipped away to GW. Thompson going all the way, and he's fouled before the shot goes up. TJ Thompson, who yesterday in a terrific performance against Michigan State suffered a little bit of a calf cramp, and they worked it out, and luckily it wasn't anything more serious than that.
Yeah, he was actually going up for his jump shot and cramped up, and we thought it might have even been a tear, but fortunately it was just a cramp, and he looks active.
And Omar Williams inside, bothered by the Maryland big defense. And the Colonials commit their 3rd turnover of the half.
The 2-2-1 full court pressure. Good play by Nick Kaner Medley. Didn't have anything. And bringing it back out, set up your offense. Now GW switching from the zone to a straight man.
Garrison a little short on his shot. Thompson again. Goes down, and he's fouled by McCray.
But Thompson has spent more time on the floor so far today than he has on his feet. As you see him as he goes down, he tries to make a little inside-outside move, and he gets tripped up on by the right foot of McCray.
Omar Williams comes out of the game for Carl Hobbs. Long three-pointer good from TJ Thompson. And that ties the game at 5. Garrison off the glass. Travis Garrison, a junior from Suitland, Maryland.
If Maryland can establish Garrison and Beckway inside, it's going to be a long day for GW. Right now, GW needs to make sure that they establish Pops Mensah-Bonsu inside. See those quick shots, Pop? I think you got to wait a little bit and try to get Pops more involved in the offense early this game. You don't want to take him out.
Haven't been able to get him the ball inside so far. That time he had the ball on the wing and passed it to Thompson. Elliott the other way for Pinnock. Nice pass inside. That's blocked by Abekwe. Nice fast break, and Thompson's blocked again by Abekwe. And a foul called on Carl Elliott. Listen to these Maryland fans.
You know, defense wins games, and blocked shots normally lead to positive things. Look at this timing by Thompson. See, Thompson didn't really fake. He didn't really make him make a decision. It was somewhat predictable, Buck, that he was going to go straight up, and Abekwe just was waiting up there. He's got those long arms, man. He's got like a 75-inch wingspan, and all he's got to do is lift up his arms, and he's touching the rim.
Kaner Medley, he hit the first shot. Has hit a three-pointer.
Trapping 2-3 zone.
And a traveling violation will be called. Oh, now they're going to call a jump ball. And the possession arrow to George Washington with 15:52 to go in the first half when we come back. Well, last year, Kenny Abekwe became the first freshman to lead the Terps in blocked shots since Joe Smith did it back in '93-94. Kenny blocking 44 shots last season, and he's already got a couple of big ones in this game.
Yeah, right now he's fourth in the ACC in block shots, and he's got great timing, and he's got a nice touch, and he's one of these guys that doesn't get out of position when he blocks shots. He doesn't pick up fouls, and he intimidates, and he's really come on defensively and also offensively. He's shown that he can make 12 to 15-foot jump shots this season, which we didn't see last year.
Carl Hobbs unable to establish Pops Mensah-Bonsu in the offense brings Alex Koreyev into the game instead. And a three-point shot good from Carl Elliott. Stepped on the line out of bounds and turned it over. It'll be GW ball. Next up from Maryland, UNC Asheville a week from today at the Comcast Center in College Park. GW will be at St. Francis of Pennsylvania next Saturday.
Maryland playing straight man.
Koreyev inside. Jump hook, a little strong, threw up an air ball. McCray pops, a little short. Hall for the long jumper, strikes a three-pointer. Mike Hall, the junior from Chicago.
See, I thought he was the key yesterday against Michigan State, coming off the bench and making those shots. That's against the 2-3 zone. See, there's no communication with the backline players of the 2-3 zone at GW.
GW up 11-9.
Too easy, Buck. That was just way too easy.
Baseline jumper in and out. Rebound to James Gist, the highly touted freshman from Silver Spring and Good Counsel High School.
GW constantly changing their defense. Now playing a straight man. Actually, it's now a zone. 2-3. They started with a man. Now it's 2-3 zone.
Abekwe winds up and fires. That's no good. Got that long stroke where he brings the ball back over his head. Tough pass inside, stolen away by Maryland. Gilchrist going coast to coast, lays it off for Kaner Medley inside. Can't get the reverse. It's about as we expected, run and gun and lots of physical pressure.
Interesting matchups. Nick Kaner Medley, they're putting the bigger body on Carl Elliott to try to bother him so he can't see openings. He's an excellent passer.
Koreyev trying to get the rebound. It's picked up by Elliott, who goes baseline. Feeds inside. Short jumper, no good. Elliott's there for another rebound. Got hit with no call. Tip in is good.
Oh, they are playing so hard, GW. They just have to make sure they take care of the basketball. No silly passes. Unforced errors could hurt GW here.
Beautiful tip by Mike Hall. And again, GW by 4. Gilchrist nearly stolen away. Kaner Medley for 3. Eight points for Nick Kaner Medley.
Well, you got Nick Kaner Medley got that Wisconsin game out of his system, and since that day, he's been making shots and playing high-energy basketball.
All knocked away. It'll go back to GW out of bounds. Carl Hobbs looks at anyone who will listen and say that had to be a foul, but none called. And now he'll get Pops Mensah-Bonsu back into the game for Alex Correa, who did a nice job in a short time.
Garrison's doing a nice job.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get it to him. Lucas drives, score it. He'll go to the line.
Garrison's doing a nice job fronting Pops Mensah-Bonsu. See, Maryland's making a statement here, and what they're saying is, we're not going to let the ball go inside, but if you do that, you got to stop penetration. And Ricky Lucas, normally a outside shooter, shows that he has developed some skill taking the ball to the basket, taking you off the bounce.
GW manages to get another shot. Pinnock inside. Off the glass and in. That was over somebody's outstretched arm. And GW has their largest lead of 5.
See how quickly Maryland gets the ball up the floor.
Gist blocked by Pops. Kaner Medley. Alley-oop, and they can't get it. Pinnock could not quite get control. Jump stop it off the glass. Pretty play by DJ Strawberry, and he's fouled.
You gotta love how quickly Maryland goes from defense to offense.
The sophomore from Corona, California, DJ Strawberry, with a big play off the bench to cut it to 3.
It's George Washington by 3 in the early going to the championship game, BB&T Classic. One of the interested observers, Juan Dixon, former Terrapin great, now a star with the Washington Wizards. Pretty good pace to this game.
Yeah, it's a great pace. You know, it's two good teams going at it. You know, George Washington beat a good Michigan State team yesterday, and Maryland had their handful today.
What is it about these backyard battles that always seem to bring a little extra spice?
I don't know. I think because GW have a chip on their shoulder. You know, Maryland get a lot of recognition around this area, and George Washington have a lot to prove. And those guys coming out early in the first half, and they're playing well.
Now, you guys keep pretty close contacts. Obviously, it helps playing in town, but we see Steve Blake here in the audience as well. How close are you to these guys still on this team? How much contact do you have with the current Maryland group?
Extremely close. You know, I live 20 minutes from College Park, so I try to get up there as much as possible to talk with the coaching staff and just talk to the players and just let them know what I learned throughout my years at Maryland and just try to relate it to them. And hopefully they can have a great year.
I'd be remiss without asking you about the Washington Wizards, off to one of the best starts in a long time.
Yeah, we're playing extremely well. Our chemistry is great, and most important, we're playing great team defense, so hopefully we keep it up.
Juan, thanks for the visit. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks a lot.
Juan Dixon, needless to say, gentlemen, you know who he's rooting for in this championship. Back to you guys.
I would say so. Says the GW has a chip on their shoulder. I like that.
Sometimes that's the advantage you need.
Lucas going all the way, and tough shot.
Come on.
And Gary wants time. Listen to these Colonial fans.
We said in the open, Buck, that turnovers are going to be important. Well, they certainly have come to play here, because when you turn the ball over, you gotta pay for it when you play against these two teams. Now watch this pass. As the ball goes up, nice little rebound that time, and they're pushing the ball up the floor. Lucas gets inside position on Strawberry, does a great job getting him on his back. That's just a great job pushing the ball up the floor, but turnovers so important. You have to take care of the basketball. You have to pass efficiently, and you can't throw those cross-court passes against either one of these teams because the guys are too quick.
Karl Hobbs has gotten 9 points from his bench. And Gary's just 2 points off of his bench as Maryland has got 5 turnovers and shooting 33% from the field. Ebekwe, too short. Tip up. Elliott had it, but he lost control. Score the field goal, and a foul is called. Elliott had that rebound, and I think he started to look around to see who was there and lost control of it.
Well, that's what Gilchrist gives you. You know, he's a very unusual player because, you know, he's 6'3", he's a point guard. He's always in the trees. You know, he's fighting in the trees. He goes up on big guys. He uses his body well, and he's always going to get you a couple of putback rebounds a game. And it's so valuable when you have a point guard that can give you those assets.
Tough shot by Thompson, a three-pointer, and every time Maryland scores, GW answers.
You know, you got to pay attention to the scouting report, guys. You got to know who the shooters are, and you got to pick them up early. Buck, in the old days, we used to run back in transition, get into the paint. Now, you got to get outside the three-point line and find the shooters. Thompson was wide open in that transition. No one on him. There wasn't even a hand up. He's going to make that shot. Three-point shot to T.J. Thompson are like layups.
Colonials match their largest lead of 7.
Good, great intensity.
Pops inside, and he scores. He's fouled. What a battle this is going to be.
Oh, this is fun. This is great stuff. Good pressure out top by Strawberry, but watch the flash by Mensah-Bonsu inside. He does a great job making himself a target. Garrison trailing the play. You got to bump somebody. When someone tries to front you inside, you got to bump them and move your feet. Oh.
Pops, who's not a good free throw shooter, now 29 of 43 on the season, missed that one badly. Strawberry from the baseline for 3.
Well, not a lot of second chances for Maryland.
Kicking it out. TJ missed that one. And what's the call? A foul on Maryland. Boy, GW is all over the court.
GW doing a great job on the boards, both ends, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. T.J. Thompson, a rare miss and a rare open look miss, but look at Omar Williams get inside position, and Gary Williams not happy.
Called on Ebekwe, his first personal. 9:35 to play first half. Elliott drives, fadeaway, couldn't get it off the glass. Pops comes down with a rebound. That follow put back by Omar Williams. And a steal on the inbound, but he couldn't hang on. Boy, what hustle by Carl Elliott and this GW team so far.
And GW is putting on a clinic on the offensive boards. 6 offensive rebounds so far. Just dominating the boards. And, you know, the energy level of this game is just phenomenal. Both teams going at it. Look at this one. Here's one offensive rebound. Pop's doing a great job going over the top. Look at the Maryland guys. All the heads are facing the rim. You can't keep your eyes on the rim. You got to find bodies.
An 11-point Colonial lead. Gilchrist inside. Shot is blocked. I don't think they'll call goaltending, but a foul is called. Called it on Mike Hall, his first personal. And John Gilchrist to the free throw line. Gilchrist misses, came in just a 59% shooter at 10 of 17. Now 1 of 2, 2 of 3 on the day. And a Maryland steal as Garrison lays it in.
It's a 1-2-1-1 full court zone press.
T.J. Thompson the other way, lost his footing, and the ball went out of bounds to Maryland.
Out of control by T.J. Thompson. Should have stopped, didn't have anything, pull it back out.
And how about the sportsmanship of Gilchrist to bend down and pick Thompson up off the floor. Close to 10 seconds. Pass too hard.
Way too hard, man. That was a Scud missile pass. Hard I wouldn't even have tried to catch it. Would have hurt your hands.
8:43 to play in the half. TW by 8. Both teams have committed 7 turnovers. Hall muscles inside. Short jumper's good. Mike Hall, the junior from Chicago.
You know, Ron Dixon kind of hit the nail on the head here. GW is playing like they have a chip on their shoulder. They're going at him, attacking defensively.
Kaner Medley. And a foul will be called over the top on Travis Garrison. First personal on Garrison.
So I think Maryland's Buck is relying too much on the three-point shot. I think they got to look to get the ball inside a little bit.
Maryland gets 2 of 9 from the three-point line. Gilchrist going to the hoop, left-handed. Pretty play. Cuts the lead to 8. And a GW turnover off the Maryland pressure. Fans in the Comcast MCI Center going bananas. 8-point lead for GW.
At Geico.
Our Advanced Auto Parts trivia question today. Can you name the inaugural BB&T Classics most valuable player? Glenn, you're shaking your head like you can.
Well, I'm 2 for 2, and I'd rather pass on this one then. Keep my record intact.
All right, we'll wait and have the answer for you. In the meantime, George Washington with 18 points in the paint in this game so far.
GW has been shooting at a torrid pace. They shot 57% against Michigan State. They're 54% today, and three-pointers that have been firing from three-point to 65% in the last 2 games. 13 for 20 from 3.
They're 4 of 6 from 3 today. 9 of 18 from 2-point range. So they're hitting from inside and outside today.
You can credit TJ Thompson, Carl Elliott, and Pinnock, the three-point shooters.
Trying to get it into a Beckway. Ekene, tough shot.
That's nice. See, this is what Maryland needs. Maryland needs to establish their inside game a little bit. Don't just rely on three-point shooting. Don't pull the trigger too quick.
Carl Elliott's jumper good. And the point guard from Brooklyn, New York, just a sophomore this year. Strawberry cuts inside, can't get the roll. Rebound and put back.
The physicality of Maryland really becoming an issue right now. They got so many strong guys that could rebound the basketball. All these guys,
Well, Pops shoved one of the Maryland players out of the way, but he was fouled and the ball went out of bounds. And not only did it go out of bounds, but they gave it back to Maryland. So I don't know if we have that on a replay, but it's been extremely physical inside. Well, this is the aftermath of the play.
Now, let's see what happens here inside. Pops gets the ball, and
right there on the arm.
Yeah, he got smacked on the arm and
by Strawberry, and no call, and that's what he's pleading to the official.
And Strawberry kind of walked at him, gave him a little nudge, and Pop nudged him back, and the officials did a good job of getting in early.
(32-26) George Washington. They've led by as many as 11 here in the first half.
Little 1-2-2 zone. The corners are open quite often on that type of zone.
Near steal. Strawberry gets it back. That's rejected by Pops. Pops Mensah-Bonsu with his 3rd block. He is from London, England. He went to prep school in New Jersey. His ancestors are from Ghana.
he had one block yesterday. He just smacked it out. It was like a volleyball spike. That one was pretty similar.
Yep. On the inbound, Strawberry's left heel was on the sideline and out of bounds. So another turnover for Maryland, their 8th of the half.
GW's got 9 turnovers.
And now make it 10. Ebekwe.
Look how long Ebekwe's arms are. He was like on the other side of the court when he stepped into the pass. He just takes up passing lanes by himself. Ebekwe just does such a great job. Look how long Ebekwe's arms are. Look how he steps in. He comes from out of nowhere, and he's got those long arms, and he's got great ups. And, you know, when he's in his hotel room, he doesn't need the remote to change the channel on the TV.
You think he's watching Sports Center to look for highlights?
Well, he's going to be tonight. That might be on there tonight. He's got that long wingspan, man. That really helps when you play defense and you can help and recover. And
I'm not certain why the officials have gone to the table. The initial signal was George Washington ball. Scott Thornley, Tom O'Neill, Jim Burr working the game today. And we're seeing two of the top high risers in college basketball here, Kenny Ebekwe and Pops Mensah-Bonsu. .534 to play. Shot clock down to 4. Thompson, good.
Nice job by GW keeping that lane wide open, allowing for Thompson to go one-on-one. No weak side defense was there to help. He just pulled the trigger on Gilchrist right in his mug.
10 points for TJ Thompson. GW by 6. Gilchrist penetrates. Beautiful shot off the glass.
Got a little one-on-one duel going here between Gilchrist and TJ Thompson.
Pinnock. Fans wanted to travel. Shot clock at 9. Hall's jumper got it. It looked like it stuck on the glass for a minute.
It
dropped
like
in.
a little crazy glue on that. You know, Hall does a great job of getting a shot off, and he's throwing a lot of shots inside. And Garrison trying to establish position. Hall got called for the bump foul. One of those lower body fouls with his legs. It's a little trick that they teach you, and try to not, instead of moving somebody with your upper body, you move them with your lower body with your legs, and he got called for it.
Hall with 9 points off the bench and 3 assists. And Hall called for the foul, which sends Travis Garrison to the free throw line. McDonald's All-America at DeMatha misses the free throw.
Nice matchup between Omar Williams and Kenny Ebekwe.
And the steal by Maryland. Strawberry goes all the way and score the goal. He's fouled on the play.
I was just about to say he should have slowed down a little bit to wait for his teammates, but what do I know, Buck? He took it to the basket and got fouled, and for an N1 type play, and this was really like a 3-on-1. Nice job stepping into passing lanes. Pinnock didn't step to the ball. You know, the little things win basketball games, and Pinnock got there way too late. Watch him come from behind and go for the steal. And this is really a 2-on-1. He kept it. It's actually a 3-on-1.
That's vintage Strawberry, the steal and the fast break layup, but he misses the free throw. The lead is 4. GW led by 11 a few minutes ago. Lucas from long range gets the bounce for 3.
GW really getting after Gilchrist, making him work.
What a shot off the glass from Gilchrist.
Boy, all of Gilchrist's buckets have been with a defender in his pocket. He's still making shots.
10 points for the junior guard from Salem High School in Virginia Beach. And Pops tangles with Ekene, and they call a foul on Abekwe. Second personal on Ekene Abekwe and a timeout in a fast-paced game. Local rivalry, 3:23 to go in the half. GW leads 39-34. Championship game of the 10th annual BB&T Classic here in our nation's capital in the MCI Center. And Maryland has said all they can handle so far with George Washington University. Along with Glenn Kotsor and Al Koken, Steve Buckhantz. Maryland shooting 47%, GW 61%. The Terps have hurt themselves from the line, 2 of 8. Gilchrist and Thompson, 10 each for Maryland and GW respectively. These teams have played each other 4 times in this, the championship game of the BB&T, and each team has won twice. And let's check in once again with Al Koken. Al?
Was Steve in that last time out listening to Carl Hobbs in the George Washington huddle, telling his guys we cannot allow Gilchrist to get to the glass with layups. If you've got to leave your man, make sure you do it. And try and overplay him a little bit to the left. He says he's all right-handed. Try and take that away from him. And speaking of overplaying, he says we need to get the ball to Thompson a little more. He says TJ Thompson is being overplayed as well. Look for a couple little back screens to try and get him a little open shooting room. Back to you guys.
Well, Pops Mensah-Bonsu gets one to drop in, just a 69% free throw shooter coming in.
You know, you got Gilchrist and Thompson, 2 very different types. Wow, basically banked two foul shots there. I'm not sure what the first one was. It was like semi-bank.
Strawberry off the glass. Boy, he's been active in the first half.
Really, Maryland's done a good job of moving the basketball the last 5 minutes of this first half, and now what we're seeing is some great matchups. You got Gilchrist and Thompson. You got Pinnock with a terrific execution off the screen from Pops Mensah-Bonsu.
GW by 7. They've led by as many as 11.
You got some non-traditional point guards here. Gilchrist, who could score and is physical, and Thompson, who's a shooting point guard. Not the traditional pass first, shot second point guard.
Kaner Medley for another 3. He's got 11 points. And 3 3-pointers for Nick Kaner Medley. Pinnock, the running jumper, gets the roll.
Very nice job. Maryland denying the passing lanes. When they deny, you go back door.
Abekwe from long range. 2-point field goal for Ekene Abekwe.
He's got that Keith Wilkes delivery on that shot, if you remember. Keith Wilkes back 100 years ago.
Ekene, a sophomore this year. Thompson inside. And a foul on Nick Kaner Medley as he reached across and committed the infraction. Second personal on Kaner Medley.
You see Thompson penetrating. He does a good job of getting in. Gilchrist gets behind him to block his shot, and that's somewhat dangerous because if you're going to try to do that, that means you're gambling a little bit, and that time he gambled and he paid off. Anytime you let the guy get inside position on you, hoping you're going to block his shot, that's a gamble.
Gary decides to bring Kaner Medley out of the game with 1:51 to go in the half. Doesn't want him to pick up his 3rd personal. And Omar Williams makes the first free throw, junior from Philadelphia. Last year averaged about 8 points a game, a little better than 5 rebounds. Averaging 11 points a game this season. Misses the second free throw badly. 46-41, GW.
GW throwing different looks on Gilchrist.
And pops with a steal inside. Williams had a shot for a moment. The ball bounces off Mensah Bonsu, but they say it went off a Beckway, and they'll give it to GW. Mike Hall back in, replacing Omar Williams for George Washington.
Omar Williams has a shot here, so you got to shoot that shot. He's wide open.
Back live, Lucas pulls the trigger, misses, gets it back, and Hall saves it. 1:12 to go in the half.
Nice defense by McCray.
Elliott penetrates, throws one up, and it's a little strong. Strawberry's there, knocked away from behind by Thompson, who shoots and scores a three-pointer for T.J. Thompson.
Gilchrist has to be careful now. Good penetration. That's smart basketball.
And Carl Hobbs says, back it down a little bit. Let's take some clock here. They can use all but 5 seconds of it. And the GW fans come to life. Offensive foul called on George Washington. They wasted the possession. And it's charged to Carl Elliott. 13th GW turnover of the half.
When you penetrate, you don't want to muscle in because you're going to get called for those little push fouls. You want to use your quickness. You want to create space. You don't create space by pushing. Create space with dribbling low and making a move.
The GW had an 8-point lead and the ball. Let's see if Maryland can take advantage to end the half. Five seconds. Long jumper, missed. Following a foul will be called on Maryland. It'll send George Washington to the free throw line.
That was not the shot that Gary Williams wanted. You know, he's playing a little dilly-dally with T.J. Thompson out top. You know, you want to run a play. You don't want to just back off and take a jump shot from the top of the key. And you can see the frustration in his eyes. But, you know, there was a little duel going on there, a little smirking between Thompson and Gilchrist. You don't want to make this personal. You got to get your teammates involved.
Foul was called on Gist, his first personal. But the Colonials struggling from the free throw line. Otherwise, they'd have a larger lead than they do. They were proficient from three-point range, as GW made 6 of 9 three-pointers in the first half, and they've got an 8-point lead on 12th-ranked Maryland. Can they pull another incredible upset after knocking off Michigan State yesterday? Another ranked team. They were 9th in the nation when they beat them. And Maryland ranked 12th. Boy, you talk about what could be 2 gigantic wins for this program. But we've got another half to go. And right now, Al Koken standing by with Coach Carl Hobbs.
Thank you, Steve. Carl, Maryland made a run at you middle of that half. You guys closed out pretty strongly. What turned that momentum against Maryland and back to your side?
Well, I tell you, the momentum changer was Maryland getting those steals, and that's the thing that we're concerned about. We can't turn the ball over. If we turn the ball over, I want them to throw it open in section 203 somewhere so we can at least have an opportunity to play defense.
Shooting from the outside well, looking to get Pops more involved in the second half?
Yeah, I think we tried to run some plays for him. I thought Mike had him open, and then Mike sort of went on his own a little bit, but we got to get Pops involved on the offensive end.
All right, Carl, thank you very much. Carl Hobbs, GW coach, he takes another halftime lead with him, and we'll find out what is in store for us in the second half. We will step aside and turn it over to Steve Buckhantz for more.
T.J. Thompson with 13 points. He hit 3 of 5 three-pointers, and it's GW up by 8 at the half.
This beat ahead. Trailing George Washington, Maryland's Steve Blake shifted into overdrive and banged a career high of 27 points, including 5 3-pointers. Maryland took the win 93-82. This BB&T moment was brought to you by Citgo, fueling the spirit for the road ahead.
As they did yesterday, the George Washington Colonials taking a nationally ranked opponent and giving them all they can handle. It's GW up by 8 at halftime over the University of Maryland. Welcome back to our halftime activities in the championship game of the BB&T Classic. I'm Al Koken. It's a pleasure to welcome in Kanaya Sequoia, who is the executive director of the DC Children's Trust Fund, one of the charities that the BB&T Classic helps benefit. And Kanaya, would you please tell us a little bit about the Children's Trust Fund?
We are the lead agency in Washington, D.C. to prevent child abuse and neglect, in that we actually promote strong children, strong families, and nurturing communities. The Children's Charities helps us to provide training and support to parents so that they can become better parents and that they can better advocate for themselves and their children.
Well, we know there's so much money raised through this tournament to the Children's Charities Foundation, and I know that the Children's Charities Foundation is somebody that really has helped out your program, isn't it?
Absolutely. They have been providing ongoing support to us over the years, and we are really, truly appreciative for everything that they have done for us and for the parents in the District of Columbia.
When you talk about all these tremendous charities that are looking for help, other than the participation here, how can some people get involved in the DC Children's Trust Fund?
Well, actually, we provide support to local groups as well, so that they can provide monetary donations to us, they can volunteer, they can help us with our parent support groups. Parents need everyone at this point in time.
Well, Kanaya, we thank you very much and congratulations, and hope things continue very well for the DC Children's Trust Fund.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is our guest, Kanaya Sequoia, the executive director of the DC Children's Trust Fund. The BB&T Classic will continue right after these messages from your local station.
The BB&T Classic.
Two former University of Maryland greats, Steve Blake on the left, Juan Dixon on the right, shaking hands. But right now, they're Terrapins down to GW 49-41 at halftime. Let's take a look at our Bud Light scoreboard to catch you up on other action around college basketball. Relatively light schedule tonight. Georgia Tech take on in-state rival Georgia. Earlier in our consolation game of the BB&T Classic, Michigan State 66-60 win over George Mason. Starting in just a little bit, number 14 Washington hosts East Washington. Also later on this afternoon, Arizona and Mississippi State, the marquee matchup other than this one, of course. Today, Arizona at home to Mississippi State, and North Carolina State and Raleigh will take on Manhattan. The BB&T Classic will continue right after these messages from your local station.
Halftime in the championship game of the 10th annual BB&T Classic here in Washington, D.C. And at the break, the Colonials lead the Terrapins 49-41. Steve Buckhantz with Glenn Consor. We expected this kind of game. GW played this kind of game yesterday against Michigan State. In fact, they out-rebounded Michigan State by 7. They're +5 on the boards here in the first half against Maryland.
Well, you know, I think GW is making a statement here for a couple of reasons. Number one, they had 96 points against Michigan State. That's against a Tom Izzo team, a guy that's won a national championship, known for his defense. Gary Williams, another great defensive coach. They got 49 points in the first half against this team. GW knows how to score. I think a couple of guys got to step it up a little bit from Maryland's standpoint. One of those guys is McCray, but it really has been a battle of the point guards.
At one point, George Washington led by 11 points at 28-17, and they're up by 8 now. And the Terrapins got off quick. Nick Kaner-Medley and battling inside against GW.
Well, Gilchrist is a non-traditional point guard. You know, he rebounds and he slices and dices as a penetrator. Loves to get in the paint and try to get his shot up or find open people. But GW's inability to keep him out of that paint has been a big issue. But TJ Thompson, who is a shooting point guard, not really a penetrating point guard, but a point guard that really can create space, get a shot off, has been a big factor. He's got great rotation and great stroke. from 3.
GW hit 6 of 9 3-pointers in that first half, and they shot the ball well at 59%.
Look at the bench points from GW. A lot of those points coming from Ricky Lucas and Mike Hall.
They've committed 13 turnovers, but those bench points, as you mentioned, and they've outdueled Maryland in just about every other category. And it shows on the scoreboard. Colonials lead the Terrapins by 8. Maryland trails George Washington in the championship game of the BB&T Classic 49-41. George Washington led by T.J. Thompson, who had 13 points, was 3 of 5 from three-point range. Hall, Elliott, Lucas all had 9, and J.R. Pinnock had 6 points. And the Maryland Terrapins were led in scoring by Nick Kaner-Medley with 11. Gilchrist had 10. Garrison, Ebekwe, and Strawberry 6 apiece. Well, right now, Al Koken standing by with Maryland head coach Gary Williams on the sideline as we get set to start second half.
Okay. Gary Williams, what concerned you most? What do you need to correct most from the first half?
Well, I thought they outworked us, number one. Other thing was we settled for too many outside shots. We're effective when we go inside. We didn't do that there. And, you know, our defense, we made some mistakes. So our matchups weren't good. We missed some guys sometimes. And, you know, it's just a combination of a couple things.
Offensively, how do you get on track in this second half?
Well, you have to make shots, but you have to run your offense, too. We didn't do a good job. I mean, we scored 41 points. It's not like we're not scoring, but I think the defensive end is more important when you give up 49.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Maryland head coach Gary Williams. Buck, back to you.
All right, Al, we get set to start the second half, and it's been a terrific game. Boy, not only is it a great local rivalry, but these are just two very exciting teams in college basketball to watch right now. And they're playing in their 5th title matchup in the BB&T. Each team has won twice, so we've got the rubber match going on here. And a turnover. Pinnock, 3-on-1. Nice selfless play, but Elliott misses the layup.
He distributed that ball in that break a little bit too late. Thompson caught the ball underneath the basket. Really had nowhere to go with it. You got to give it up early.
Kaner-Medley, he's fouled inside. A lot of contact on both ends. And you heard Gary Williams say that they've scored 41 points, so it's not like they didn't put the ball in the hoop, but you got to play some defense if you're giving up 49 points.
You know, Buck, when you run a fast break, you got to make sure you make a good decision where you pass the ball. Look where Thompson catches the ball. Catches the ball underneath the basket. If Pinnock would have gave it up earlier, you got a layup. You don't want to hold it too long.
Second personal foul called on Pops Mensah-Bonsu. And Nick Kaner-Medley, who came into the game, good free throw shooter, makes them both. He's got 13 points in the game. Pops inside, can't get it. Tip up, not there. Rebound, Ebekwe. McCray inside. And Carl Hobbs wants time. A quick start to the second half by the Terps.
One thing that jumped out at me in the first half is that the game was going up and down. McCray was somewhat of a ghost. He likes to go up and down, just like that basket.
Timeout in Washington. University of Maryland has scored the first 4 points of the second half to cut the GW lead to 4 at 49-45.
Well, the nice thing about this break was that Gilchrist didn't take too many dribbles. He has a tendency to pound the ball sometimes. That time he got the outlet pass, took one dribble, and kicked it up to a flying Chris McCray.
Foul called on Ebekwe on the inbounds pass into Pops Mensah-Bonsu. And on Ekene Ebekwe, his 3rd personal foul. Full court pressure by the Terps. Both teams 4-1 on the year. And now GW 3-on-1. Pinnock slams it in.
Come on, oh man. That was unbelievable. He kind of dunked that from his hip. on a Beckway who's a shot blocker.
He's 4 for 4 with 8 points, and McCray answers.
Oh, this is getting good. These guys are really getting after it. Just look at how hard GW is going to the basket.
Mensah-Bonsu lost it. It went off of Travis Garrison, and GW gets it back. Williams stops and shoots. Omar Williams, the junior from Philadelphia, scores. 53-47, George Washington. Garrison, short jumper, no good. And traveling is called.
Old expression in basketball, be quick but don't hurry, and that time he was
He just started running before he dribbled.
Yeah, you got to put it down. Get your feet established first on those outlet passes.
That's close to a backcourt violation as Kaner Medley jumped from the front and caught the ball in midair and landed in the back, but they didn't call it. Garrison inside, block, gets his rebound and puts it in.
Boy, a terrific pass by a Beckway, but a better flash by Garrison.
TJ Thompson rims it. Gilchrist is fouled as he penetrates the lane. And let's see if they give him 2 or not. It's on TJ Thompson.
See, Gilchrist right now has to be careful, Buck, because he's playing at one speed, and that's like 100 miles an hour. Very predictable. He's putting his head down and he's going to the basket. If I wasn't hooked up like this, and if you didn't need me as bad as you do, I'd jump over the table and take a charge. But, you know, you got to be careful with that. You know, you got to play in 2 speeds. You got to be tricky and slow down a little bit. Let your teammates catch up to you.
Mike Hall just entered the game and just picked up his 3rd personal foul. So Kenny Beckway to the free throw line. Only Terrapin rookie last year to play in every game. He played in all 32. This is the first. He'll have another. Maryland just 4 of 11 from the free throw line. And this one is no good as well. Elliott tipped away off the glass and a turnover. Gilchrist knocked away from behind. He took his eye off the defender.
Great hustle by Elliott from behind.
Wow, this is outrageous. Thompson, 3-on-1 underneath Omar Williams, and he's fouled. How about this game?
I feel like I'm having a UNLV flashback from the early 90s.
These coaches will need oxygen after this contest. 3 trips up and down the floor in 9 seconds. And we want to welcome and wish a warm hello to our U.S. servicemen and women watching today's telecast around the world on the American Forces Network. All of us here appreciate what you do and hope we're bringing you a touch of home with the BB&T Classic. Steve Buckhantz, Glenn Consor, Al Koken, statistician Marty Aronoff, stage manager Lori Green, producer Rich Wolf. On hand for today's game, and it's a good one. Championship variety for the 5th time in this tournament between these 2 teams. 55-49, George Washington. Led by as many as 11 in the first half. They were up by 8 at the break. Kaner Medley, Pinnock on him. For Gist, and the freshman nails the jumper.
You know, it's a good move by Gary Williams, giving John Gilchrist a little bit of a rest, settle him down a little bit.
First field goal for James Gist. Good-looking young freshman. Can play inside, has a nice shot. Pinnock off the glass.
Oh, that's great execution and patience by GW and spacing. Hitting those cutters as they flash around those high screens.
10 points for J.R. Pinnock on 5 of 6 shooting. Gist inside. Cassetti can play inside or out. You gotta like that kid. 6'8", 215 from Good Counsel High in Silver Spring.
James Gist played center in high school, and now he's learning the college games, playing a number of different positions, but he is very skilled.
Williams for the open jumper. That's too strong. McCray. Cross court, Kaner Medley. Good. And he cuts it to 1.
And it was a great pass by McCray over the top. The defense couldn't react, and Kaner Medley just nailed it.
Kaner Medley has 4 3-pointers in the game. He's 4 of 6 and has 16 points to lead the Terps. Williams drives. No call. Boy, there's a lot of contact.
Smart play by Kaner Medley. Very nice job. Didn't have
Alley-oop,
much.
and they throw it away. Timeout in a fast-paced game here at the MCI Center. 14:31 to play. GW by 1. The BB&T Classic will continue right after these messages from your local station.
Today.
Maryland has shown some great ball movement and efficient passing. Now GW is playing a 2-3 zone. Now watch the pass over the top. Freeze it right here. You take a look at Gist. Gist is over here. There's Mike Hall is right there. Now let's run it a little bit. He gives him a little bit of a shove as the ball goes top, just enough to get Mike Hall thrown off balance. But it was the great pass over the top of the zone that freed Nick Kaner Medley for the open jumper.
GW led by as many as 11 in the first half. They were up 49-41 at halftime. But since then, Maryland has outscored the Colonials 15-8. In this, the second half, with 14:31 remaining in regulation.
Nick Kaner Medley doing a nice job shooting 5 for 10 from the floor, 4 for 6 from the three-point line.
3 on 2. Pops Mensah-Bonsu. He got too far underneath. Kaner Medley pulls up. Follow is slammed in by Gist.
Well, that's what you get when you push the ball. If you miss the first shot, and if you play that quick, you get offensive rebounds.
And the Terps have taken the lead, 58-57. T.J. Thompson gets it right back.
TJ's having fun. He's having fun.
Maryland was up for the first time since they led 7-5 early in this game. McCray misses, and a foul called on Maryland, and I think they got it on Travis Garrison.
T.J. Thompson with Maryland going on a rally. Just wants to quiet the crowd a little bit, saying, shh, this game's not over yet, folks. Plenty of time left.
Travis Garrison picks up his 3rd personal, so Gary Williams will bring him out of the game and insert Ekene Abekwe. GW has made 7 of 11 three-pointers in this game. Pops rejected inside by Abekwe. Gist running the break, lays it up and in. Yeah. Boy, how good is that young man going to be?
Under control as well.
Just a freshman, and he has all the tools.
He looked like Kevin Garnett on that fast break.
Hall got a 3. Unbelievable.
Bring it.
Gist has 8 of Maryland's last 11 points. Make it 10.
Buck, this is what you call a breakout game for a young man like James Gist, who's really starting to feel it now and have some fun using his athletic ability and skills.
Inside for Mensah Bonsu, short jumper, and he just can't get the roll. Kaner Medley springs free. Pass picked off by Pinnock.
You know, that's okay. That's one of those turnovers that, you know, no turnover's okay, but you know what? They were trying to get the ball to Gist. He was on a roll and just forced it into him. Should have passed it back and passed it around the perimeter instead of forced it inside.
Elliott off the glass, no good. Follow not there. Rebound Maryland. 3-on-3 and a foul call. You better strap in if you want to watch this game. It has been up and down here at the MCI Center. And a timeout with 11:56 to go in the second half.
Skin.
Colonials leading this game by 1. Earlier, we had a chance to talk with former Maryland star Juan Dixon, now a member of the Washington Wizards. Let's talk to his former running mate and current running mate with the Wizards, Steve Blake. You like the pace of this game so far?
It's a great game to watch, up and down, going back and forth with the score. Just Maryland needs to crack down, get some stops, and take over.
I asked Juan earlier, what makes these backyard battles between Maryland and GW so special?
In this tournament every year, it's been really great. I mean, we get Maryland always gets up for it, GW always gets up for it, and for both teams have a home crowd pretty much, and so it's just real exciting.
You're almost a full basketball floor away from Gary Williams, but I bet you can still probably hear in your ears ringing the things he's been saying all day.
Yeah, you know what he's saying over there. You can almost read his lips. So it's pretty predictable.
Quickly, how about the Wizards? A great start to the season.
Yeah, guys are playing really well. We have a winning attitude right now, and we plan on continuing that.
All right, Steve, thanks for the visit, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks a lot.
That's Steve Blake. He certainly was a star in this BB&T Classic. Buck, back to you.
All right, Al, the Terps have hurt themselves from the free throw line today, just 5 of 14. Thompson with another long three. How do you like that?
Well, that was a NBA three with change.
He's 5 of 7 from three-point line, and GW has hit 9 of 13.
You got to realize there's 2 lines on the floor. One's an NBA three and one's a college three, and TJ Thompson just pulled that trigger.
And Gary
way behind the three-point line.
Williams wants a short timeout. Maryland shot 49% in the first half, 64% so far this half. And our trivia question was, can you name the inaugural BB&T Classics MVP? And you said you're going to abstain from this answer,
Well,
Glenn?
I've been right every time, so why ruin my record?
No, I'd like to see you go 3 for 3. What do you think?
Somebody from UMass. How about
Marcus Camby.
Look at you. Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Well, we both had it right then.
Yeah. 44 points over 2 games. Who will be the MVP this year? TJ Thompson, a new season high for points, 19. His career high, 28 against Gonzaga last year in this tournament.
Well, how about this for TJ Thompson? You know, in this tournament alone, he has played against Gilchrist, TJ Ford, and Blake Stepp.
Wow.
Talking about competition.
Pinnock, as they get the inbound pass.
Let alone all the other great players he's had to defend as well. Jameer Nelson in the A-10 last year.
Pinnock, short jumper's a beauty. Well, he's played so well in this entire tournament, especially today. He's got 12 points. And TJ Thompson called for his 3rd personal foul. And now Jim Burr is going to go say something to TJ Thompson. And a good show of sportsmanship and a good bit of officiating to settle him down just a little bit. Tell him what the right thing to do is.
That's a veteran play by the official. You know, T.J. Thompson, he just loves basketball. He loves to play. He loves to compete. And he does it in a real positive way. It's not like he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder or anything. He just loves to play basketball. Always in the gym.
10:54 to go. 68-63. GW in the steal. Up ahead to Thompson, 2-on-1, back to Pinnock, lays it off underneath, and again they missed the layup in transition. They had 3-on-1. Strawberry, reverse layup.
That's been the difference in the second half, is that Maryland's making their layups. GW has missed 6 layups, and 5 of them on dunk attempts.
Wow.
You got to be able to finish.
It's almost like they're making one too many passes, Glenn.
Right, that's right on. I mean, that last offensive play, you know, a little bit too much. You want to make sure you commit the defense to make a decision.
Our Geico Direct moment of the game. And the last sequence, and again, maybe one too many passes.
Yeah, you probably should have gave it to Carl Elliott with a little bounce pass to the right side. Would have been the easier play, but TJ was trying to get the ball a pin out for the slam dunk, and there's the finish on the end for Strawberry, Strawberry and McCray are 2 terrific guys in the open court that could finish.
DJ with 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting. And he's got 3 steals in the game as well. Sophomore from Corona, California, the son of Darryl Strawberry. Right when they called the timeout, T.J. Thompson hit a 3-point jumper, but it didn't count because they had called a timeout, but he's just deadly. Great backcourt play. And this time they get the layup. Terrific.
So smart, good spacing. T.J. Thompson is a veteran player, and that offensive segment just showed it. Set him up nicely.
21 points for Thompson on 8 of 13 shooting. Strawberry muscles in, and that's an offensive foul. Jim Burr called it from way out, almost at the midcourt stripe, but he had the angle on it.
Well, Strawberry just puts his head down. He bulls his way in. See him just bull his way in. It's a good call.
Yeah, excellent call. Baseline position.
Well, he didn't have anything. He didn't really have any movement, any space. He just kind of tried to create it with his shoulder.
Every time Maryland closes in, GW responds. (72-65) Colonials. Kaner Medley off a screen, too strong. A great play. Another 3-on-1, and Kaner Medley knocks it out of bounds, and a heads-up defensive play.
Yeah, Elliott did a great job of saving it to himself, but he got rid of the ball too quickly. Nice job saving the ball for himself. See that? But then he gave it up too quick. See, it was a 2-on-1 fast break, and he didn't really take advantage of that. He gave it up. That's a travel.
Well, and he was held before the travel, I think, and that's the call that's going to be made.
How about that?
Fans don't like it, but that was the call that was made.
Well, the GW fans like it.
Correct. Ebekwe picks up his 4th personal.
Boy, GW got a break there because Omar Williams was just off balance on that shot.
So Kenny Ebekwe comes out along with McCray. GW has won this tournament twice in '97 and '99 against Maryland. Williams, and he got it, and he's fouled. That kid has been unbelievable in this tournament.
Well, he's had a great game today, and you know, he's one of those guys that gives you a little bit of everything, and he uses his height nicely. He's got good ball handling skills. He's 6'9". He can post you up. He can face the basket as well. And nice little drop step move. Gets the defense on his shoulder. The other thing he does well at 6'9", he could look over defenses. He's an excellent passer.
Colonials on an 11-2 run here. Williams is 3 of 5 from the line tonight. 9.6 rebounds, 4 assists. 9:19 to go as GW attempts to build the lead to 10. Neither team, shooting very well from the free throw line. Colonials 5 of 10. Maryland 5 of 14. Gilchrist is hammered inside, and he'll shoot 2. Trying to get his team lit up here. Trailing by 9. Colonials' largest lead has been 11 in the first half. They led by 9 at the break. Maryland went on a run to regain the lead, but since then, an 11-2 run by George Washington. Maryland now 5 of 15 from the line. Had trouble with free throw shooting against Wisconsin in the loss 69-64 Saturday. Wow, you believe that?
Oh, big rebound by Garrison.
And the three-pointer, good!
Well, Maryland will take 3 for 2 anytime.
Why not?
Credit that basket to Garrison fighting. You know, you had option B in the way of position on that rebound. He was able to get his hands on the ball.
Cuts the GW lead to 6. Fans want 3 seconds on Pops Mensah-Bonsu. Pinnock takes the jumper. A little short. Lucas is there, and he scores. Ricky Lucas, the sophomore guard from Herndon High School in Herndon, Virginia.
Gary Williams not happy with that lack of rebounding on the defensive end.
Kaner Medley springs free. That's a little short. Follow not there. And Gilchrist is fouled again, and he'll shoot 2.
Boy, he is a strong kid, Buck. Man,
and he's not afraid to mix it up in there.
No, he likes going in and rebounding with the big guys.
6'3". ACC tournament MVP last year. ACC tourney first team. The first point guard to lead the Terrapins in scoring since John Lucas did it back in 1973-74. Maryland now 5 of 17 from the free throw line.
Oh, painful. It's like root canal.
1 free throw for Gilchrist. Inbound full court pressure. And he stepped on the line out of bounds. He traveled.
Not a good entry pass by Omar Williams, but you know you can't really blame him because nobody was open.
He had nowhere else to go.
You know you gotta make good V cuts, good basketball cuts to the ball, and get yourself open. It's the other guy's responsibility to make sure they become a target.
GW by 7, and Maryland can cut into that lead. Approaching the 8-minute mark in this game.
Zone by GW.
Garrison works free and scores.
Omar Williams didn't move his feet.
Lucas penetrates. Missed the shot. Rebound McCray.
Got to look up.
Reverse layup. Gilchrist went coast to coast. 16 points for John Gilchrist, and Carl Hobbs wants time.
Boy, Gilchrist is putting on a show. You know, he was dribbling with his head down and pounding the ball. It almost didn't matter. He's so strong, and he has such an innate ability to get to the basket.
He was trying to get his team fired up, and he said, "To heck with it, I'll do it myself."
Garrison does a nice job of getting around Hall. I thought it was Omar Williams, but it was Mike Hall who didn't move his feet. Williams came from the weak side. Now watch, his head's down. He's not looking up. And now he just goes to the basket. And everybody's watching him. Look at this. Weak side defense wasn't there. TJ Thompson didn't rotate in to help.
16 for Gilchrist.
You know, when you have the athletic ability and strength that John Gilchrist has, you could overcompensate some of the things that you can get away with, maybe missing a guy once in a while, because he's so strong, and when he gets to the paint, typically he could finish. He's got the broad shoulders, and you see that look in his face. He is focused.
He's determined. Junior guard from Salem High and Virginia Beach, was a two-time AP Prep Player of the Year in Virginia in high school. A junior this year, and the team leader.
Was the MVP of the ACC tournament last year, and the only other two Maryland guys that have accomplished that is Albert King and Len Bias.
Can GW withstand this torrid Maryland pressure? And it looks like they'll break the press finally after getting the inbounds pass. 7:20 to go. And a blocking foul called on Strawberry.
It's a good call.
Timeout, 7:20 to play. Terps trail the Colonials by 3. GW ball when we come back.
More choice.
CVS.
Take a look at our Under Armour Undeniable Award. J.R. Pinnock, who has had a magnificent tournament for George Washington. And in this game, 6 of 8 with 12 points, and that was a monster slam.
Oh, it certainly was. You know, to play this game successfully, you got to have a little bit of the nasty in you, and Pinnock has that.
J.R., a sophomore from McDonough, Georgia, which is near Atlanta. And Carl Elliott to the free throw line. And what did GW strategize during the timeout? Let's check in with Al Koken.
Well, Steve, it was rather interesting. We still have 7:20 to go, but Carl Hobbs looking for some killer instinct, saying, guys, if you get 3 straight stops and get the rebound, we can put this game away. Now, plenty of time, but he's looking for killer instinct right now. Over to you guys.
Now, you can see his team doubling up every time a pass is made. Got to focus on defense. Leading by 5.
GW denying the wings now. They're overplaying.
Gilchrist, 8 to shoot. Penetrates. Blocked inside. Gist is there. And he follows.
Oh, great block by Pops, but Omar Williams didn't block out on that play.
The freshman is 6 of 7 and has 12 points. James Gist. Williams drives on Gist inside, throws it up too short. Beautiful pass to Strawberry, and he's fouled. That was picture perfect.
That was a great pass from McCray, and a good pass by Gilchrist as well, advancing the ball. Watch this strong bounce pass that pops up.
The form he used on that pass, just the way it's taught.
Yep. Thumbs down, and good backspin on the ball where it kicked up nicely.
Pinnock got the foul. Strawberry with the miss at the free throw line. Maryland is 5 of 18 from the free throw line, and Strawberry just 1 of 5.
You know, up to this game, Maryland's been doing a good job on the free throw line, and they seem to have reverted back into last year's stats.
And a correction on the free throw shooting for Maryland. 7 of 20. Pops misses inside. Terps 7 of 20 from the line. Pinnock spinning. Jumper. Little short. Oh, not there. Mensah-Bonsu, and they chase it down.
I like that hustle by T.J. Thompson in the corner. There was like 5 guys on him.
Foul called. GW has missed 9 layups this half.
And a lot of those were on dunks.
You know, that will haunt Carl Hobbs should they not come out on top in this game.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that are going to be haunting these coaches. You know, free throws and turnovers and missed layups.
Gary Williams with Mike Lonergan looking on, and assistants Dave Dickerson and Keith Booth, the former Terrapins. J.R. Pinnock, 12 points in the game. Gets the front end. His first free throw of the game. James Gist gets a nice round of applause. The rookie with 12 points, 4 rebounds. 6 of 7 shooting for Gist. 1 free throw made. 8 of 14 from the free throw line for GW. Nice pass to Kaner Medley. Reverse layup. Missed it. Wow.
That ball just hung on the rim. And what a rebound by Mike Hall, though. That's a strong rebound. An effort rebound.
3-point lead for the Colonials. Thompson drives up and in. 23 points for TJ Thompson and a timeout taken. And the Colonial fans come to their feet. 5:25 to go in the game.
TJ Thompson has played a great game, Buck. You know, he's done a great job of playing with patience and taking what the defense gives him. And in this play, he did a good job getting in the lane and staying focused to the basket. And normally he's a pull-up jump shooter. See, when you're running a jump shooter who can put it on the floor, it's one of those double threat guards.
Thompson is 5 points away from matching his career high of 28, which he had last year in the championship game against Gonzaga.
He's just so dangerous, and he's experienced this year, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. This is a young man that really worked on his game over the summer. He lived in the gym, working on his, taking about 1,000 shots a day. Loves to play. Always wants to play in a game.
TJ, the senior from Germantown, Maryland. 13,343 on hand here this afternoon. What a game this has been. Gilchrist penetrates, lays it up, knocked out of bounds. You know, this tournament has become so hot and so good, and this year you have 3 local schools in it. Wouldn't you just... That shot will not count. The foul was called. Wouldn't you just love to see Georgetown sneak in here one year?
Fun.
This would be one local rival and a great tournament. It already is. They've raised over $5.2 million in 9 years for children's charities and done such a magnificent job at that. And everybody has fun in the process.
And I think it's great. I think it's great that you have local rivalries. I think, you know, that's what it's all about. And, you know, you shouldn't be afraid to play somebody, you know, from a local standpoint. I just think it, you know, it helps your program.
Well, I agree with you, but some coaches don't. They feel like they could get into no-win situations, especially when they're trying to win games as they get ready to play their conference schedule.
But the bottom line is, you know, you got to win games to make the NCAAs, and you got to do well in your conference.
Maryland in this half is plus 12 on the boards. A turnaround from the first half when they were down by 5. Gilchrist lost it momentarily, gets it back, shoots, and scores. What a play. 18 points for Gilchrist.
This is a point guard extravaganza. We're seeing everything. We're seeing scoring and dishing and penetrating. And
could this game get any better? Hall lost his dribble, held up, and he's called for traveling.
Hall got jumped, Buck. Hall got jumped
and nearly mugged. It's amazing how much contact the officials let go.
And again,
in the college game.
Yeah, well, we talked about how, you know, you got to move, help them out, get open. It's all about angles. You got to give him, you got to get to a spot that makes it easy for him to pass you the ball. If you're standing around, it's not Mike Hall's fault.
Gilchrist again. He has been spectacular. $20 points for the junior from Virginia Beach.
He's a special player.
And Maryland has cut the lead to 1. Omar Williams got it. Three-pointer.
How about the dish and kickback by Elliott?
4-point GW lead, 3:25 to go. Colonials are 10 of 14 from three-point range in this game. Open jumper, no good. Pops is there.
Great position inside by Pops. Boy, this game has become a penetrate, draw, and dish type game.
6 points, 5 rebounds for Pops Mensah-Bonsu.
Here it is again.
They've effectively taken him out of the offense, but he's still contributing. Pinnock, what a play. He has been sensational. 15 points for J.R. Pinnock. And Gary Williams wants time. Oh, my. (88-82), George Washington with 2:34 to play in the half.
And we're seeing some great things offensively this game against unbelievable pressure. Pinnock does a good job of protecting the ball and just pulling the trigger. He didn't charge, went straight up and straight down, and we saw some great penetration by Elliott and, of course, John Gilchrist, who has taken this game over literally by himself. He's put the whole Maryland team on his back, penetrating in, putting his head down, pounding the ball. He's doing everything.
Pinnock with the pull-up jumper. Not used as much these days, but he has mastered it in this game.
Well, if you could learn that little runner, incorporate that into your game, man, that's a great thing to have in your arsenal. You see the timeouts?
Gilchrist around the screen, picked up by Pops, way out on top. Now he goes to drive, misses, rebound. Maryland, bodies everywhere.
Great hustle by Gilchrist.
Garrison, no call. Long jumper, good. Three-pointer from Chris McRae.
This game is so physical. Guys are taking charges, and that was a good no call down there.
And a foul called on McRae. Fourth personal foul on Chris McRae. The Maryland fans don't like it. The GW fans applaud it. Timeout. Colonials up by 3. Championship game of the BB&T Classic in Washington has been a classic confrontation. Both teams shooting 52%. Steve Buckhantz, Glenn Tonsor, Al Koken. And you couldn't have asked for a better contest. There's the shooting percentage. Free throws have killed both teams. Maryland 9 of 22. And the big front end of a 1-and-1 there for Omar Williams.
That is huge. Every free throw from here on in is going to be critical to the outcome of this game.
Williams now 4 of 7 from the line. Gets him 5 of 8. He's got 14 points. 11 of them this half. This game has featured just about everything you could ask for. Great defense, pressure, fast breaking, incredible slams.
Incredible intensity and toughness. That's been the common thread to this game, is that you can't play in this basketball game if you're not tough.
Gilchrist inside, and a foul is called, a blocking foul on Pops Mensah-Bonsu. Gilchrist has just been extraordinary in this half and relentless, to say the least.
Well, he's got these crossover moves and gets himself into the lane. Pops got there a little bit too late, and you know, he's so herky-jerky, Gilchrist is, that it's tough to make calls on him because he's constantly moving. You don't know if you're going to pick up the charge or if you're going to foul him. And
Gilchrist makes the first. He's 4 of 8 from the line.
He's got somewhat of an unorthodox handle. Dribbles high, pounds the ball.
Gets them both. 22 points for John Gilchrist. 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Good job by Elliott getting to the middle of the floor, helping him out.
Three-point lead for the Colonials. Can they hang on? 1:15 to play. Timeout, and a good timeout taken by J.R. Pinnock.
Maryland did a great job of putting pressure out top and also denying the wings. The ball handlers on that offensive segment didn't have any targets. Good timeout by Pinnock, and with 12 seconds on the shot clock, it gives Carl Hobbs the ability now to diagram a play that Maryland has not seen yet.
However, George Washington is now out of timeouts, so they're done in that
And that
category.
could come back to haunt them.
Well, you never know. There's still plenty of time left.
That's right.
Last year, Maryland went 20-12. NCAA tournament, Denver Regional. They beat UTEP 88-83 in the first round and lost to Syracuse. GW went 18-12. They went to the NIT. They lost to the University of Virginia 79-66. 8 seconds to shoot. Elliott underneath. Williams inside. Gets it to Elliott with 3. Big shot!
Huge.
With 2 seconds on the shot clock. Five-point lead. And Maryland lost it out of bounds.
Wow. Great defense by GW out top. Hall came to double-team Gilchrist on the top of the key, and that kicked it out of his hands. Oh, that's painful.
He wasn't allowed to move on the baseline. If you've throwing it in after a made shot, you can run the baseline, but that was not the case. Nope. Oh my, what a turnover.
You can't run the baseline on a turnover.
And a foul is called. What an unfortunate mental mistake by the GW team. And Gilchrist went over to help his teammate, and he slipped and went down hard on the baseline. There's evidently some moisture over there, and he hurt his left wrist a little bit. Watch this. Well, it's right there. Well, here he goes to help him out and slips.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that does not look good. So Garrison to the line. He's got 10 points. He is 0 for 1 at the charity stripe. George Washington has never beaten 2 ranked opponents in a row. They got Michigan State yesterday. State was ranked 9th coming in.
Let me tell you something here. I believe if GW beats Maryland here, given the fact that they took down Wake Forest, they took Wake Forest down to the wire, I think they deserve to be a top 20 team.
Wow, what a turnaround. With 49 seconds left, GW had the ball to inbound with a 92-87 lead, and a traveling play was called out of bounds, giving it back to Maryland. The foul occurred, 2 free throws. It's 92-89 instead. The 2004 BB&T Classic has been brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real, it's all here. Toyota, more choices, better choices. Toyota Selection, that's moving you forward. Under Armour Performance Apparel, the advantage is undeniable. And by Advance Auto, for the best parts, people, and price. We're ready in advance. 45 and 9/10 seconds remain in what has been a classic game in a classic tournament. George Washington and Maryland hooking up for the 5th time in the championship game. Each team has won the title twice. In year number 10 of the BB&T Classic now. GW won it in 97 and 99. University of Maryland has won this tournament 5 times.
See a lot of
Correction,
donuts.
4 times.
4 times. You see a lot of donuts on your screen. 45.9 seconds left in this game, and Neither team has any timeouts. Right now, GW has the ball with Mike Hall taking it out of bounds.
And it was Hall who was called for the traveling moments ago. Up ahead, Pinnock gets ahead of Maryland and scores. Wow. 17 for J.R. Pinnock. Gilchrist for three, no good. Rebound Colonials. And a foul on Nick Kaner-Medley.
And that is just great coaching by Carl Hobbs. After the timeout, setting up that out-of-bounds play. What a play, over the top. You see a quick pass, and now two guys are flying here. No one's back from Maryland. Look at this. You had Thompson also open on that play.
The first free throws of the game for T.J. Thompson, who now has 26 points. 2 away from matching his career high of 28. GW with a couple of huge field goals. Elliott, remember, he hit that jumper with just 2 seconds on the shot clock to make it 92-87, and then Pinnock in the full court transition on the slam. And these 2 big free throws by T.J. Thompson. And a foul called on Thompson will send Gilchrist to the line. Not what GW wanted to do.
No, why?
They wanted to make Maryland eat up some clock, but instead it stops with 31 seconds. Not a smart play.
No, Carl Hobbs is on the sideline saying, why? Because now it stops the clock, and it puts Maryland to the free throw line. And if he makes these shots, it also gives them the opportunity to set their defense up. But wow, the woes continue.
Gilchrist just 5 of 10 from the free throw line, and Maryland as a team today 13 of 27, now 14 of 28. Both teams are out of timeouts. Pinnock is converged and fouled, and J.R. Pinnock, who is 1 of 2 from the line with 17 points, will go back to shoot 2. Gary Williams will get Mike Jones into the game. Jones has yet to play today, and he's coming in for the first time. They have not really needed his scoring, but haven't used it.
Well, you know what they say about shooters. You know, they can come in cold and make shots, and Mike Jones is certainly a shooter. Not an easy thing to do. I could never do that. I could never sit like that and then come in the game and make shots.
Well, he's an exceptional scorer, but it may be too late for that. GW has made its last 6 free throws. Pinnock has been spectacular in this game. Ibekwe passes it off. 3-pointer no good. Tip-up taken by Kene, who scores off the glass.
Nice job by not fouling Ibekwe. Mike Hall just let him go up.
And Gilchrist called for the foul on Pinnock with 16.1 seconds to play. Carl Hobbs in his 4th season played for Mike Jarvis in high school in Massachusetts with Patrick Ewing. At UConn, he recruited Rip Hamilton and Khalid El-Amin, while Hobbs himself was a 4-year starter with the Huskies. Missed free throw by Pinnock. T.J. Thompson's combined 2-game point total for the Classic is 44, tied for 5th best in tournament history.
Look, I'm going to say it again. If GW keeps this lead and wins this game, I think they deserve to be a top 20 team.
20 points for Pinnock. Gilchrist no good. Rebound Pinnock, and that will do it. A foul is called on Garrison, and the GW fans celebrate. 2 shocking victories in this tournament by George Washington University, upsetting Michigan State yesterday, a 9th-ranked team, and taking Maryland, the 12th-ranked Terrapins, down here in the Classic final.
This is TJ's classic tournament. I mean, he's just been a monster in this tournament, averaging 18 points a game. He's played in 8 games here. This is his 8th game.
And Pinnock and Gilchrist shake hands. Well, this guy can't say enough about how he's played. I mean, so many players played their hearts out in this game.
You know, my hat's off to both of these teams in this game because, you know, Maryland played well. I mean, they did some nice things. They played hard. They played tough.
And you talked about this earlier. GW scored 96 points against a good defensive team, Michigan State.
Right.
And 101 against Maryland here. And that is it. The George Washington Colonials have shocked the nation with 2 upset victories over ranked teams. Michigan State yesterday, Maryland today, 101-92 the final. As GW beats Maryland for the 3rd time in the BB&T Classic Championship. Once again, our final score, George Washington 101, Maryland 92, as the Colonials capture the 10th annual BB&T Classic for the 3rd time. And now for Glenn Consor, Al Koken, and our entire crew, Steve Buckhantz, wishing you a pleasant afternoon from the MCI Center. George Washington wins over Maryland 101-92 in a great tournament. So long from Washington.